Hello and welcome to the Simply Greg Show. As you already know, the Simply Greg Show is all about elevating the mind and inspiring the community by spotlighting the hidden gems in the community. And that's basically ordinary people doing extraordinary things. So what basically happens, every week we have an amazing guest who's either been through a challenging situation or has some information about their journey in order to help impact others. And today I've got another amazing guest. She's glowing. She's here looking all nice and that and glamorous. Exactly. No, she's not a model, guys. No. No, she's not.
I'm going to tell you a little bit who I am.
Oh, that's it. So she's a photographer and she does amazing things, obviously all in the name of photography in order to empower women to find their awesomeness. So today we'll be talking about how to remove that feeling of inadequacy in order to find your awesomeness. And to help me with this today, we have Paulina.
Hi, thank you for having me. This is absolutely amazing. I'm so glad to be here. And as we know, inadequacy is such a broad subject.
That's it.
And it's so important, especially in that society right now. We need to hear that. And I feel like I have something to share. And I would like all the women to sit down and listen.
Wow.
Take notes, ladies.
She's taking charge and I sit down and listen, which is amazing. And thank you so much for obviously that introduction already. And your journey, obviously, which you're going to share with us, has taken us, taking you through a lot in order to be this empowered woman that you are today, because it's not necessarily the same woman that might have been, like a few years back. I mean, for all of us, the same guy I am right now is not the guy I was a few years back. And now you've got this amazing business, obviously doing photography, but, obviously helping to empower women and doing so much at the same time. How did you get yourself into that? How did you get into photography? And what was your journey like to where you are right now, obviously doing what you do?
This is an incredible question because it all started with my son.
Oh,
actually.
wow.
And he was like an awakening something in me. And I started photographing him when he was born. And it really made me realize that I want to show those moments to him when he's going to grow older. And I fall in love with every photo. It wasn't perfect. It was just starting. But I had this need in me to express myself. And as a little kid, I loved to paint, but my parents told me not to.
Okay.
So I felt like I need to carry on with this and let's see where it takes me.
Wow.
And from being a mom and photographing my child to doing weddings and other events and architecture, I've done so many different things. But at some point, I realized there is a bigger need.
Wow.
And that need was when I was going through my own discovery journey.
Okay.
And I wanted to share that with you because I think it's so important.
Wow.
I was a lost woman and I was almost like a lost girl.
Okay.
I felt like I was always looking for a man to compliment me, but also to give me permission to be who I want to be. I was always trying to prove better, that I need to be better in order to achieve something. And I was always putting men on a pedestal. And that came from the fact that my parents, my father mostly, was really controlling.
Oh, wow.
And came from the society where men could do more than girls. And I always felt I had to fight to be noticed. And I've always felt I was different and I want to be here on this earth to fulfill some sort of purpose.
Yeah.
And I shared only with few people this, but I always saw myself on a stage, and I never saw the audience.
Wow.
I only saw that I am here to change something.
Wow.
And when I started photographing women, and during the wedding, for example, I remember that the biggest connection I had with women, with the bride, to the extent that she trusted me even with her earrings, with her ring. She was just looking to me all the time.
Wow.
So I knew that I had some greater purpose with connecting with women.
Wow.
And while I was going through difficulties with men, I realized that I need to stand up in my own light and to see how amazing I am.
Wow.
That I am here not only to just help others, but also I am on the same journey with you all. So I understand you. I know how you feel low. I know how you can feel inadequate. I know how can you compare to yourself to other people. I know that women younger than you might look to you as a threat, but this is not real. This is only the expectations you put on yourself.
Wow.
And if you could only stop for a second and look inside yourself to see how great you are,
Wow.
then that would change your life. And I can guarantee you.
Wow. Just her sharing all that, she nearly got me emotional. I'm here just listening.
I hope
and all
so,
that.
because this is what we're talking about.
That's it.
The subject is really deep. And
That's it.
looking at the society at the moment where younger women are now trying to do plastic surgeries to look like a Snapchat filters, this is not going anywhere good.
That's it.
And feeling at age of 11 and 12 inadequate already.
Wow.
And so I'm not even talking about women over 40, which we think we are now done. We don't have any life to live. I'm not talking about everybody, but there's lots of women comparing themselves. And the statistics show, especially Stylist Magazine did statistics, that over 84% of women are comparing themselves with other women seeing on social media, and they feel inadequate. So there's a huge, huge opportunity to stand up and become a leader, to help women to see their own value and their own purpose, because they feel like there is nobody for them, or maybe limited, or they don't know where to go to.
And so you're very right about that, because especially as you mentioned earlier on about social media, because you know all of these, or the various different mediums of social media are also adding so much to mental health, you know. Absolutely. And like you said, it just increases that feeling of inadequacy when everyone's showing you that this is how you have to be, you know. So from even like you said, whether young girls, young boys, or more so like you mentioned in the topic of discussion for young girls at such an early age, looking at they have to be a certain way, and it's already tapping into that feeling of inadequacy without them knowing, you know. And they want that value as well. They yearn for that. So,
and the funny thing is that everybody's looking at the external, but actually what's the most important is how you feel about yourself inside. And then when you know how to connect with yourself and bring it out, it doesn't matter whether you look like a filter lady. The people around you will hear, see, and feel your vibration, and they will be drawn to you because of that confidence. And we lack in confidence. That's the bigger factor at the moment. Confidence through being able to own your authentic self.
And what were some of the things that you found yourself doing during your journey, in order to kind of look for that value, you know, to feel like you're valuable? How was you addressing the inadequacy in your journey?
In my own journey, first thing what I've done is I had fantastic women around me. And women which were doing as well photography and were doing the things I wanted to do. So I flew to Netherlands to be photographed by this woman. And I was really down there, and my boyfriend was with me, not having a great time. And I was feeling like not good enough, not beautiful enough, not clever enough, although I looked my life best. You could just think like she's just beautiful. But I didn't feel
wasn't
that.
inside.
I wasn't carrying that because I was depending on other people, on other people's opinion of me. See? So when I flew there, she gave me the time. She gave me the time for me to unfold in front of the camera. We went through all the things she was doing. So she was helping me to guide me through, just relax, connect with myself. She said, have a good time. And she already knew me very well, so she didn't need to do what I do with my customers, which is like connecting with their deeper self and allowing her to be herself and giving her lots of love. She already was giving me love. So I felt so natural and so beautiful. And we had so much laughter. And when I saw those photos of me, I felt like I am literally seeing that woman for the first time. She was smiling. She was so happy. And she was connected with who she was. Even if my teeth were not like beautifully positioned. It doesn't matter. It was the feeling. I was seeing myself happy because I allowed myself to open up and to see who I really am. And that was what I think was the first step for me to start going into this journey Don't get me wrong, I've been doing lots of stuff
Yeah.
on the side, reading self-help book, etc. I've done
Mm.
so many different things.
Mm.
But for some reason, this experience was really different because there was nothing external. I didn't need to read anything. I didn't need to listen to anybody. All I needed to see is me.
That's it.
That was
Embrace
the
yourself as you are and
just see
realize the
me.
power within.
Absolutely. And that connection with me. So that was number one. And what I think is that in terms of comparison, sorry for
Yeah.
I interject you, we really have to be mindful that even if you see beautiful women out there, beautiful men, they also struggle. They also going through their own journey. So comparing yourself to that person you think have an easy life, it is unattainable. It is almost like a it doesn't exist because you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what they're psychologically focusing on and where they have to focus their energy to live better life. So all we see is that, that perfect picture. And we are chasing perfect picture which doesn't exist. And all we need to do is to take that compassion we carry on and just look at everybody around us with love. If you do that, you will not compare yourself. You will understand that their journey is their journey, that what they're showing might be because they want to better themselves or other people to think that that's what it is. So if you're staying in your own lane, this is the best you can do. Focus on you, but it's difficult.
That's the thing. And just before we even go into any of the practicalities or anything like that, and for those who are in that position may not be able to identify, I mean, what does that feeling of inadequacy feel like?
It feels like you are doing something wrong all the time. It feels like you don't look like other people, so you already think this is wrong. You feel like you might not have enough wealth as they have. You feel like if people are somewhere and you would love to be there, you feel like you're missing out constantly.
Okay, yeah.
So that feeling of inadequacy could be in every aspect of your life. And then you have to stop yourself and say, hey, is it really me? Am I really being drawn into somebody else's life and perception? Why don't I stop and just take a deep breath and look inside myself and see what I have done so far? So start praising yourself even more. Start being kinder to yourself. Start writing gratitude.
So is with the inadequacy, just to go further into that as well, is that also something that is more self-inflicted? Do you think, from your perspective and the people that you've spoken to, that you've obviously taken pictures of as well, is it more self-inflicted, or have you always found that it might be something which is externally inflicted or impacted by maybe society, or maybe, like we said, about social media and so forth? What's your thoughts on that?
My thought is that it is what you think. So if somebody had bad childhood, they might carry the trauma with them. But from my customers' experience, I don't go into that deep level of asking them. But what I see is that there are very kind of successful women who have already achieved so much, and they've been busy and busy, and now is the time for them to actually stop and do something for themselves. So being able to appreciate themselves, being able to recognize the time goes by and they haven't had that time with themselves, and being able to connect with their ideal customer. So you can't put a mask. You have to be yourself. You need to show who you really are, so then people will come to you who are vibing with you, who are feeling the same energy, who are connected with what you're showing them. And there's so many different, for example, businesses who are feeling like, oh, but we are attracting people who are calling us and they don't want anything from us. Yes, because you are showing different messages.
Yeah.
And it's the same with us, human beings. if you are showing different message to other people around you, that's all you attract. But I think I came out a little bit of the topic. What I'm trying to say is that social media are there, and you are responsible of how much you are taking it on a daily basis. You are responsible for identifying where does that feeling of inadequacy come from.
That's it.
So it can come from, again, from your childhood. It can come from social media. It can come from toxic friends and surrounding people around you. It can come from your self-talk, which has been what we're just saying.
Yeah.
It could come from anything from the childhood, I believe. And it can only be reinforced by what's happening at the moment with the world. But I feel that the strongest kind of desire for getting better with yourself is to stop and just wait. Pause. And just pause and ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? What can I do to improve? What can I remove for the situation if it doesn't serve me? What can I do every single day to look at myself and feel a little bit better? So, as I said, the gratitude list is such an undervalued task to do every single day. Even if you are feeling down, and if you start writing about, I am grateful for my parents, if this is what you feel. I am grateful for waking up. I'm grateful that I have somewhere to live. I am grateful that I have amazing brain. I am grateful that I actually can talk to people. For little things you take for granted. This can already uplift you and put you in a different level of vibration.
Totally.
And I truly believe that vibration is everything.
That's it. And
how you do things, who do you attract in your life, and what you get is because of the vibration. It's because of your thoughts. It's because of your thoughts, then there are actions. And that's so important to look at yourself first, and it's so difficult. But I have a few things I can just start telling you now, which might help you straight away.
Yeah, so she's going to definitely go into that as well, and which she told you earlier on to make sure you got a pen and a pad, so she wasn't playing around because she just gone off straight off the gates. And what have you found that some of these women have come to you asking for, especially you doing photography, and like you said, everyone's trying to bring out their best self for the sake of the camera, for the sake of social media, for the sake of, you know, whatever, looking glamorous, and, you know, everyone's so focused on the external appearance, like you said, you know, the young girls, and, you know, even going to get themselves BBM and, you know, getting all done up and plastic surgery and so forth. It's actually so much more prevalent now. Like, it's weird. I remember I saw like even some young girls talking about it. They're like roughly 18 and that, and they're like, oh yeah. And like, not to take the mic, but I was like, I was like, what is going on? You're only like 18. Like, whereas before it used to be like further down the line. I'm like, you haven't even grown yet, you know? Like, you don't even know the greatness that you are yet to be, because you're still, your body hasn't fully developed, especially as a woman as well, because it's even so much further as you grow old and old that you embrace yourself even more and obviously find your confidence. So what have you found most of these women have come to you for, or asking for, or what have they wanted when they're asking you to take pictures of them?
Okay, so I think that my customers are a reflection of me, or a reflection of where I aspire to be. At the moment, what I think and what I see and what they tell me is that they want to feel confident and empowered. They want to look empowered, confident. They want to look authentic, but they want to look good as well. Yeah. So the looking good is really big aspect, but I always take it down to connecting with yourself. And looking good doesn't mean to position you in a particular way. So you look, I don't know, 10 kilograms less or something. Yeah. Yes, I do that as well. Yeah. But it means about being real. So when I photograph my customers, and when we look through the photos I took of them, I know exactly which photos they will take. Yeah. And they take photos where they look really honest,
Yeah.
happy, and authentic.
Yeah.
So what does that mean, authentic, in photos, right?
Yeah.
It's like when you see somebody smiling as if, I don't know, they won something, or they had their best puppy or the best candy when they were a kid or something. You see that kid in them.
Yeah.
You see
Yeah.
that real, genuine happiness.
Yeah.
That's what they want.
Yeah.
So I truly believe everybody in this planet wants to be happy,
That's it.
and they want to exude that
Yeah.
because they want to be reminded on a daily basis that this is who they are. And if they don't feel like this, they can step into that person by being transported again to that session experience
Yeah.
where I gave them love, attention, when I didn't judge, but we discussed their desires of how they want to be portrayed. And most of the time when we have photo mapping, when I'm doing photo mapping with them, those photos, yeah, they're great, but we're always going into the photos which look like them. So even if sometimes they might want to look like somebody else or kind of create that aura, they always choose the photos which they know they feel happy. So the happiness and the confidence and the empowerment is what my customers come for. And that authentic self, which then they feel like proud showcasing to the world, because now they have been given permission to be themselves. So it's almost like coming to me to say, I'm good enough, am I?
Yeah.
And I'm showing this to her, and she says, oh my God, why was I complaining?
Yeah.
I look amazing. So it's that connection with you inside, allowing you to open up so much that you don't feel that you're going to be judged by anybody. You don't do it for your partner.
Yeah.
You don't do it for your mom and dad and anybody else. You're doing this for yourself to start a new chapter in your life, which is called freedom.
Oh, I love that.
Right?
Drop
Freedom
the mic.
of all these labels. Not good enough, not slim enough, not I don't know, not earning enough money, or whatever it is. You're just dropping the labels, and you're just being reborn.
That's it.
To feel adequate.
That's it. I love that. I love that. I love that. There's so many gems that she dropped in that as well, and I was like, wow. But one of the things I loved of what you mentioned earlier on as well is that you're not down for trying to get them to create shapes and become something else that they're not. The line to the camera and things like that. I was like, yes, well done. I'm glad you are.
Because we see that all the time. Like, people think that you have to really, I don't know, do so much.
Yeah.
And the most important thing is when I position somebody to the photos, I said, well, does it feel comfortable to you?
That's it. I love that.
How would you stand?
Yeah.
Do you need something to stand in order to feel comfortable?
Yeah.
No, right?
Yeah.
So you're just standing.
Yeah.
I might help you with, yes, I do help women to look slimmer if this is what they want.
Yeah. And the angles.
Yes, and the angles to bring the best out of them.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't sit on the sofa if you didn't know that looks okay in the camera.
Yeah.
So we all have that, idea of looking good in our own mind.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is that sometimes you might just, the legs might be there or whatever, they might not be aligned, but all you care is how you felt. So the feeling when you're looking at something, like when you're falling in love with somebody, right? You have a feeling.
Yeah.
When you're seeing yourself in that moment and you being connected to what you always wanted to see, this is where the love comes.
Oh, wow. Wow. And there's a combustion of it because you come to the realization of it and embracing yourself.
Absolutely.
And knowing that you had that awesomeness inside of you. That's amazing. Thank you so much for everything that you've been sharing so much so far. And there's definitely a lot that I've actually unravel from that and unpack. But what were some of the things that caused you to identify, the feeling of inadequacy that you saw in your clients when they approached you? Because you created that space for them, but it was something that you picked up from them that caused you to identify that they need to go through, you need to relax them a little bit so what were some of the things that you were seeing as well during that time?
Okay, so when somebody calls me, and we're not yet clients yet, she's not my client.
So they're a potential client.
They're a potential customer. I feel like because of what I show on my social media and on my website, I already kind of do a sizzling, and I'm getting the women who are my ideal customers.
Okay.
But anyway, if I speak to them, I try to understand everything about them, what makes them happy, where they feel the most loved, what they're trying to achieve, how they want to be portrayed, what are their goals, what are they afraid of, how they want to look. I want to understand everything about that customer because I want to make sure that I am going to show you who you really are.
And represent them in the best way. Yeah.
Absolutely, but not my idea of who you are.
Yeah.
I don't want to show you what I want to see.
Yeah, that's
I want to connect with you and show you who you are because I truly believe that when they come in with a particular set of images, I want to see it. But what we are going to do is identify the feelings. That's it. And with the feelings, we can then recreate the photo.
And why is that important for you to connect with the feeling?
Because only then you are your real self. You have your own values. You have your own feelings. You have your own likes and dislikes. And I feel that because you are connecting with yourself, you can then be happier with the photography, with yourself. And then when you're coming out, you feel like a completely different person because now you are being freed of not being able to show yourself. Now you can show yourself to the world. Now you are being given the green light and you are set. Is that making sense? Is that answering your question? Or?
Yeah, because it's an experiential kind of thing as well. Because in the process, as you're feeling that and experiencing that for yourself, you allow your true self to come out. You know, rather than just an image of what you want to be shown to the world, but you are not connecting with that, nor are you that person.
Absolutely. You have to connect with yourself. So, yes, I understand that you want to wear particular clothes. Yes, I understand that you want to maybe look slimmer or younger or whatever it is. Yes, I understand all of that. And I appreciate that because this is your experience. It's not me for me to judge you. I welcome everybody. But I want to connect with you deeply, so I understand whether this is just what you think you should look like.
Yeah, I love that.
Or whether it is you telling you inside that this is who you are.
That's it.
And that's why it's so important to peel these layers of that onion full of expectations. You know, I need to be this professional, I need to be this. If this is who you are because you love it, yes,
that's fine.
But if it's something you have never done and you want to portray yourself this way, so it's almost like canning other people. And I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to show yourself in a certain way and then somebody will see you and they think that's not the person I saw. That's not the feeling I had from seeing that person in their photos, videos, etc. So I really want to help you to connect with people. But you can only connect with people if you connect with yourself and if you know who you really are. And even if you don't know at the beginning what you want, by me coaching, it's almost like I'm coaching you on the phone. It's going to take at least 45 to an hour and a half. That first conversation. Because it's so important to understand you. I'm doing this for your own benefit.
I love that. I love the fact that you're doing that because, like you mentioned earlier on, you want to represent them in the best, you know, in their truest form as possible, you know, and in the best light as well. And also you want to feel as if you're making a difference as well in the work that you're doing, you know, because
Absolutely.
I remember even me, I mean, obviously the reason why we've got a personal development talk show here is because my background is as a coach, you know, and you know, obviously I remember doing a lot of one-to-one coaching with a lot of people and they're like, I want to be the top trader. I want to be the best this, the best that. But every time I'd go through the process with them in that conversation, I would actually identify, like there was one particular client, he actually wanted to build a school and do so much, you know, to build a school and do so much for young children and things like that. And I was like, wow. But when you came to me, you sounded like just this is what I want. But when we're actually digging deeper, we're hearing like there's a bigger sense of purpose within you because we had to first find his motivation before we get into be able to do the external actions. If we don't have that connection, then he won't be able to perpetually continue striving after what he's trying to go for. because a lot of the times he was saying that 3 months he'll go for it, and 3 months he'll just binge it and he can't be bothered, he doesn't go to the gym, blah, blah, blah. And that was that repetitive motion, because we almost strive so much to push ourselves beyond beyond even listening to our body, and beyond even being true in line with our purpose and who we truly are. And what happens is, when you're not being good to yourself, you end up being a hard taskmaster to yourself, until your body shuts down and says, no, you haven't been taking care of me. So no, and your body doesn't want to do anything. And that's when you're like binging or doing whatever it is. But I remember that feeling where I also had to realize, you know what, this is not what you're actually going for. With everything that you told me, this is what your life is trying to say, I want to do. This is what your body is saying, I want to do. But you're not listening to me, because you just want to be a trader, or you just want to be that, or you just want to be whatever the world's telling you. And being able to get them realigned to that as well was a very, purposeful thing, which I'm obviously seeing you do in basically talking to them, understanding them, and putting them in the best, truest light of who they are as well.
This is just the first conversation.
I know. So, thank you very much. Sorry about that, because just looking at the timing as well. So
Absolutely.
Thank you very much there. Locking in, obviously, this is a Simply Great show, all about elevating the mind and inspiring the community by spotlighting the hidden gems in the community. That's ordinary people doing extraordinary things. As you can tell, Paulina's got a lot more to say. So make sure you catch the second part, where she's going to be giving us some practical tips of what to do in order to find our awesomeness and get rid of that feeling of inadequacy and look at your best self on photo. So don't touch that dial. See you on the next slide. See you soon.